Okay, here we have our Model 1 or version 1 of the Raspberry Pi camera, and we are going to turn it into a microscope. So the first thing, notice this connector and the camera's loose. So we're going to turn it sideways. We're going to pinch the connector down so it doesn't pop out. And then we're going to remove the double stick tape protector. There it is. Peel that off. And so now, oopsie. All right, so there, I'm using an X-Acto blade. I got that, there's the paper removed. Now the sticky's ready to go. I'm holding down on the cable, push it down, and now I'm just going to push the camera straight down wherever it wants to fall. So that's going to act like a strain relief. So I'm pushing it firmly. So now it's double sticked and the connector's there. Everything's good, okay? Now there's a little tab here which protects the lens, but we're going to be chopping the lens off, so you can leave it on. I like to save the lens, you know. Someday you'll use it for something. I'm using diagonal cutters, very sharp, small ones. Now the key is there's two parts to this plastic casing. Notice there's a seam here, and it's kind of hot fused plastic to seal this. We want to remove the top part, that's this part, which has the lens hold. Here's the lens, it screws in, but they put some glue so you can't rotate it because they fixed it to the focus they want. This is the upper part of the case. We want to remove this, but we want to leave the bottom part of the case intact because, as you'll see, this houses the image chip with all the glass on top and inside all the delicate gold bonding wires. We don't want to mess that up. So the key is to chomp away at the top, and you'll notice it'll part pretty easily because there's only about 4 spots where they hot sealed it to the top part to the bottom part. Okay, so the key to doing this is be slow and careful. Do little chunks at a time. So there's the rim. Here's the rim that is part of the threads that hold the lens in place. We're going to start chewing on that. So don't come in here and think you're going to go boop, one big chomp. Really, you want to chew. So I'm going to start chewing. It'll give you a feel. And with my left hand, I'm holding it down so I'm not putting all the strain on the glue and surely not on the cable. You can pinch it down here. Be careful you don't slip and jab yourself. So slow and steady, that's the name of the game. It's not a race. So I'm going to chew it. And notice when you start chewing just the rim, the lens is starting to pop up. That's a good sign. So chew around. And when you're almost about halfway chewing, and we moved it down here, this lens just wants to pop up. And I'm going to pry it up. Now, you got to be really careful that you don't let this tool, which is metal, slip inside there and scratch the glass. So again, very controlled movements. I'm prying it. Oops, it's like a loose tooth now. So I'm just going to grab it and push it away. Boom. Okay, so now the lens is good. If these little pieces of plastic fall in, no problem. They won't scratch the glass. But if your tool jabs in there, you'll scratch the glass and that'll be a permanent mar on your microscope. So here's a little piece. I'm just going to cut that off. If it falls in, that's okay. Don't rub it against the glass. But now here's a little trick I found is if you kind of chew the corner, the right part of the blade, I'm not going to go all the way down. You just want to stay on the top part. And look at this. It even just wants to pull right off. I'm just going to get a little, you can chew it a little. I'm just going to chew that away. I'm going to chew the corner off. Just the top part. Again, don't let your blade pop in there. I'm going to put it in there a little. Work it. Chew it away. Okay, so now I chewed out that corner. I'm going to turn it sideways, chew on this part. I'm going to hold down here. Nope, see, it's like a loose tooth, and it just wants to come off. See that whole top part? I never chewed below it. See, all my chews, I'm going to pull it out here. All the chews are done on the top half because they're only, if I can turn it over, can we even see where they kind of just hot pressed it on somehow, but you can see the bottom half is all pristine. I never chewed into the bottom half. And if you look at the surface of the bottom half, I'm going to point with my X-Acto, I don't even see how the top goes to the bottom. It's just a very, very simple little glue dot, something on the corners to make it glued. But in any event, it's just like hot pressed on it. This is what you want. This is the bottom half. It's pristine. See, the glass is perfect. There's a little dot. Don't ever scratch it with metal. I have a Q-tip here. I'm just going to brush away. Make sure your Q-tips are clean because you don't want to get oil or grease on it. And that's it. See the rainbow thing? I'm going to make this little cut here. I always like to turn my Q-tips into pointers. I just shaved off the side here. So anyway, so this is the glass cover. This is the glass. And you can see glue. So they glued the glass in place. You don't want to remove the glass because underneath, let's see if I can see, let's see if we can see that. I'm going to zoom in, see if we can see the bonding wires. Where are they? I guess you can't really see it in this view, but those dots are the bonding pads, and then there's these gold wires that go off to the package. So you don't want to mess with that. So here's the glass. And then notice the rainbow part, that's a smaller part. This is the actual array of photodiodes. That's the actual camera part. So this is the part that you want to be putting your plankton on. And so between the area of the actual image sensor and then the glass, you got a little perimeter. This is the perimeter we want to glue our mask to. Because this edge where the glass meets the plastic is not waterproof. Water can actually seep in because they didn't do a good job sealing. You can see the glue here, but it stops here. Looks like they only glued this bottom section that's holding the glass in. So your goal is you want to seal this crack with silicone seal or epoxy, whichever you choose, but leave this pristine. And that's why I always put blue tape on just this little square because it's about 3.5 by 2.5 millimeters. You always want this glass pristine because that's where you're going to put your plankton. Okay, that's it. Remember, slow and steady wins the race.